Okay, hi Caitlin. For my Inside 298, mapping my future final project, I chose to do it via presentation. But I realized after I finished making the presentation that I don't have the ability to present it like you would in class. So instead, I'm just going to make like a voiceover or a video of myself talking and then attach the slide deck to Canvas so that you can follow along with what I say. So I hope that that works out. But for my slide presentation, um, I'm starting with my personal goal number one, which is to race a half marathon in the spring of 2027. I wanted to do it this year, but I lacked motivation to train, so I did not. But what I will be doing for this is that I will start with running 2 miles 5 times a week for 3 weeks. This is a good period to build base mileage. I ran track and cross country in high school, so I have a pretty good knowledge base for this. And then I'll increase to 3 miles 2 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then do 2 miles 3 times a week on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just so that I'm not burning myself out and causing injury. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I'll rest. And then I'll increase my mileage based on my heart rate and the how it feels. I have an Apple Watch, and so I can really easily monitor my heart rate and everything on each run. So after each run, I'll make sure to document that and how I felt. And some challenges I could face would be burnout, loss of motivation, and injury. And so I'm trying to prevent these things by providing adequate rest. So Saturdays and Sundays I will have off. Eventually, once I begin training for actually the half marathon, I would run on Saturdays and then take Sunday off. And then something to help me with my motivation would be to run with friends and to join Run Club here on campus. I've started this fall semester with Run Club a couple of times, and then I just stopped going because it's kind of hard to build into my schedule, so I'd also have to get into a routine. And then to make sure that I don't get injured, I have like a reoccurring injury, so I should make sure to stretch daily and lift with advice from my coach from high school because we're still in contact. And then I need to find a better pair of running shoes. So that's a pair of equipment, a piece of equipment that I would need. I need to find a better pair, I think, that is better suited for my foot. And then the reason why this is important to me is because I love running, and like I told you earlier, I ran in high school, and I think it's really good for my mental health. I feel like it just provides, I don't know, an outlet, and runner's high is real, and so I'm always feeling really positive after. And then, like I said earlier, I should establish a routine with my homework and work and sleep, and make sure I prioritize myself and my goals. For my personal goal number two, I would like to throw a clay cup. A clay cup. I can do this by taking Art 156 in the spring. Art 156 is just clay, it's like introduction to wheel throwing. It's just something that I've always wanted to do, something I've always been interested in. But now that I know there's a class that I can do, where I can learn these skills, I'm definitely going to take that. I can also join the CU Potters Club. I live in Urbana, and just like 2 or 3 blocks away, there's the actual CU Potters Club thing, and they have like monthly meetings. They have like a store. It's really cool. I've driven by it. Yeah, and there's also art studios like specifically for clay throwing in Champaign. So, and then resources that I will need access to is a clay wheel and clay, and then also a patient teacher because I have never done this before. I'm not a very artistic person, and so this is definitely going to be a challenge. A challenge that I would face with is like being a beginner. I really struggle with starting new things and not being good at them. So I will definitely learn to stick with this instead of just dropping it because I'm not good at it. And this is also just like a hard skill, and it's going to take time, but I think that's something that, I don't know, is beneficial because if you can find something that you're interested in and want to learn more about, I don't know, it's pretty important to persevere. And then I need to remember that I am learning and that is okay to help overcome those challenges, because I need to give myself grace and learn to not give up when I am not good at things, and to just remember that just because I'm not good at something does not mean that my self-worth is any less. And then this is important to me because it's a new skill. I like to learn new things. I just get frustrated, and then I'm challenging myself, and I'm developing hobbies. And I feel like all of those things together improves mental health because you're strengthening not only your mind but also your interests and, I don't know, your sense of person or your identity. And then again, I need to learn to forgive myself for making mistakes. Okay, moving on to my professional goals. Should I be a large or small animal veterinarian? I need to figure that out. I think that for this specific goal, I should learn, I need to, well, gain experience in both fields. So I have experience with large animals and small animals, specifically with horses and like dogs and cats. I need to continue my work at the small animal clinic and then also seek positions at the beef and dairy farms because I have negligible experience with cows. And I can also take classes on companion animals and livestock, so specifically companion animal nutrition and ruminant nutrition, something that I'm interested in as well. And then I can maintain and gain connections with animal science professionals in both fields. So I already have several connections in both fields, but there's obviously always room for growth, and so I can do that. And then my challenges for this specific goal is that I'm interested in both fields. I have no idea what I want to do. Well, I do have an idea. I'm just not sure which one I should do exactly. And then I do not have a lot of livestock experience, so this is a completely different field that I've never worked in before, specifically with cattle or like sheep or goats. I have no experience with any of them, so that's pretty intimidating, but to overcome this, I can persevere, and that learning is part of this process, and I can't allow myself to get discouraged by not knowing a lot. The whole point is for me to learn. I just worry about other people having more experience than I do and not fitting in. And then the reason why this is important to me to figure out soon is because I want to travel and I want to know what position will allow me to live in most places. And also what the lifestyle looks like for each career. There's a lot to consider and a lot to look into for these positions, but I'm very interested in both. And then I will continue to pursue every available opportunity that is presented to me and that I find. I think that variable experiences are obviously very important, and getting new skills will help me define what I would like to do. And finally, my professional goal number 2 is to find interesting research. I'm actually very interested in doing research, and I've come to the conclusion recently that I'm very interested in finding research that is at the cross section of like neurology and psychology and like behavioral studies and animal science. I think that would be something that's very interesting to look into. I know that there was research on foxes. It was genetics in the displaying of just behavior. I thought that was really cool. I wanted to be part of that. I'm not sure if that lab is still running. And I believe that Dr. Dilber's nutrition lab focuses on like neurology and gut health, which I think is so cool, and I definitely want to be a part of that. And I can achieve this goal by researching animal science faculty and their topics of research, and then finding specific research that I'm interested in, and then emailing them regarding their research positions. And then I can use as my resources the anti-advising team and the website, and also the animal science website, because that's where all of the research is listed. And then some challenges that I'll face is that I'll be unable to find this specific cross-sectional research, and B, I'll not be able to gain positions because I do not have any lab experience. To overcome these challenges, I can look at other colleges for relevant research, specifically the School of Psychology, and then hopefully get a position somewhere. If I do not get any of these positions, then I can gain lab research elsewhere, like in my current positions at Noah's Ark and the Large Animal Clinic. And then this is important to me because I am so interested in psychology and behavior and neurology. I really wanted to do psychology, but animal science just kind of stole my heart, so here I am. But if there's a way that I can combine these two interests together, that would be excellent. And I really like the interrelational study, and I feel like they offer different facets which would be super important. And then I can achieve this goal by practicing positive self-talk and to not be scared of trying new things and getting new skills and being a beginner in a very advanced, I don't know, environment. But yeah, this is my career mapping my future, and thank you.